And we are live, living in Jacksonville channel. Welcome to the show tonight. We're talking about Durbin Park development updates and Bartram. Is that right, Miss Rachel?
Yep, it's all pretty much the same area.
Same area of development. This is actually one of those subjects that one of you all that were watching commented on, whether it was recording or live. And they said, hey, we really like the coverage you did on commercial development in Açaí. Tell us what's going on in the Durbin area. And there's a lot going on, but it's slow, I think. And the reason I believe it's slow is because we have to develop the road systems for all this. I mean, as you can see, I've got footage of what's there now. We're talking Home Depot, Cinemark, Walmart, Burlington. I hate saying that. I don't understand why it's there, but do you shop at Burlington? What is it?
You know, I actually went to Burlington for the first time a couple months ago.
Okay.
And it's I guess kind of like a TJ Maxx, but even more cluttered.
I didn't know TJ Maxx could get more cluttered, but okay.
So that's, yeah. I mean, to me, you could probably, if you are willing to dig, you could probably find some great deals. And I know there are people who are definitely Burlington shoppers and love it. And I get the appeal, but really for me, it's a lot of digging.
Okay. I always thought it was a coat factory, like it's where you got jackets. It used to be called Burlington Coat Factory, I believe.
They do have coats, but it's more just clothes and jewelry. And I saw a lot of suitcases. I thought the suitcases might be a good deal, but I wasn't looking for a suitcase that day.
All right. So I'm not into Burlington, TJ Maxx, Ross's, or any of that. I'm not a bargain hunter shopper. I'm basically a order it online and show up to my door, please kind of person. So unfortunately, I work too dang hard, too many hours to do that. Okay. So where are we starting tonight, Miss Rachel? You are the research analyst. If anybody's watching, this is totally interactive. If you'd like to go ahead and tell us where you're watching from, go ahead and put it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions about this area, St. Johns County, suburbs of Jacksonville, please, again, put it in the comments. We'd love to know where you're watching from. Say hello. This is totally interactive. Yeah. And so, Miss Rachel, what do we got tonight?
First up, we're going to be talking about UF Health Durbin Park. So this is like the big deal that's coming over to Durbin. They've already broken ground, a 42.5-acre health and wellness campus that is expanding UF's regional expansion plan for Jacksonville, St. Johns County. So we're talking hospital, we're talking full service, 150-bed hospital, focus on orthopedics, neurosurgery, cardiovascular medicine, and women's services. I mean, this place is going to have it all. 2,000 new jobs.
Oh, wow. 2,000 new jobs to the area?
Yeah, the project expected to bring 2,000 new jobs for a total of 12,000 jobs in the St. Johns and Jacksonville area over time. So
wow.
This is a huge investment. They're talking $1 billion investment in Northeast Florida. So this will be a big hospital. And it looks like they're ready. They're saying to expect to be ready for their first patient by late 2026. So
wow. That seems a little aggressive to me, but I mean, hey, they are doing some massive development. As I put down a screenshot of the video footage we have, you definitely see it's one of the few structures that's moving along quite quickly. Did you know that the Flagler Health Facility building in Açaí is now UF Health? Did you realize that?
I did see that. Yeah. So it seems like UF Health is expanding and taking over a lot of that Flagler. I think this project was originally going to be a Flagler Health project.
Okay. So yeah, so they acquired Flagler, and so I guess everything Flagler was doing is now UF Health. I go there. I'm pretty impressed with their services so far. The transition was a little rocky, but again, this is a great thing to know for anybody relocating in the area. A lot of my folks that are moving to the area are moving here because there's other parts of Florida, Southern Florida, where it takes over a year to 2 years just to see a specialist. And so we have not only do we have UF Health, but we have Mayo, we have Wolfson's, we have Baptist. So we have a heck of a medical community here already. And now this massive, beautiful $1 billion facility is going to be right there in one of the new phases of Bartram Park. That's pretty cool.
Right. So it's definitely a big deal. And honestly, with as much growth as we've had in this area, I really think it's something we need. Like we have a lot of fun things. We have a lot of things we want, but this I think is definitely categorized in the need.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be great. And
Awesome.
I'll show you where it is on the map if you are interested.
Sure.
So here's where we have our Google Maps. So you can see all the Durbin shopping stuff. So we've got the Mellow Mushroom, we've got the Walmart over here, Petco, your Burlington's over there. And then
your Home Depot.
Right.
Don't forget Home Depot.
I can't forget Home Depot. So it's here down at the bottom with this red dot. So down here where this brand new road is.
Yes.
Right here. So it's kind of right off of 9B, which is, just a big, massive road project in this area.
Yes.
So.
And it's called the Peyton Parkway. And I love this road actually, because I've driven on it multiple times, because it helps me, if you scroll back down, it helps me to avoid Racetrack.
Yeah, Racetrack's up here, but right there.
So
it's a nice little cut through there.
Yeah, you can almost cut through there and get out of the way. And I think it's fantastic because we needed that. And honestly, when this project was announced that it's going to be like a 10, 12-year project, and it's going to be 5-6 phases, and the shopping area is going to be as big as St. John's Town Center, if not bigger, I was like, really? That's nuts. But the fact that they added this road through here has made my life already a little happier, because as we deal with this massive growth, the road system is important too. Good stuff.
Right. I think they really are trying to plan ahead as much as they can for something like this and really do it right with the roads from the get-go. Yeah. So that's awesome.
I think St. Johns County gets a bad rap sometimes. People complain so much, but when you think about the massive growth that we had, the rate at what they're growing as far as building schools for the needs of the schools, people complain a lot. Okay, yeah, I get it. I agree. Teachers are definitely underpaid, and we need to work on that. But as far as the facilities in the schools themselves, physically, they're building them at a pretty quick rate, and they're beautiful schools. Now we're talking about the hospitals in the area. We have a lot of amazing hospitals very close by. And now they're working on the road system. I mean, like, people, how fast can you possibly build this kind of infrastructure at the rate that we're growing at?
Right. I mean, I think they're doing the best they can to keep up. And I think I saw an article recently that said that they're putting that cost on the developers too. So they're trying to push and make sure that, the county is not the only one footing the bill for all this growth.
100%. Just like they did in Açaí, the developers paid for the land and donated it to the counties to build the schools on. So that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But another thing that's going to be in that little medical area over on that Peyton Parkway is Peyton Family YMCA.
Wow. That's awesome.
So it says Peyton Family YMCA at Durbin Park. It's the centerpiece of a 40-acre, $150 million health complex. So I think it's going to be part of that hospital area.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like the Baptist Health in our Nocte area is part of YMCA, or the YMCA is within that building. So that's their health section or wellness of the hospital.
Right. I think this one's going to be bigger though, because it says how large. I'm going to go ahead and click on this frequently asked questions. This says the new Durbin Park Y is projected to be upwards of 50,000 square feet. And it says designs aren't final yet, but the largest Y branch is Winston Family Y, which is that the Ponte Vedra one? I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it looks like they're going to try to make it a big one.
We're just signing up for the Y. Finally, we're signing up to the
really?
Family. Yeah, it's only like $100 for the whole family. I think a month. If I'm not mistaken. And we visited it, and it was like super nice. So and it's kind of cheesy because we have a gym and all that, but their facility and classes and everything, and they have childcare. It's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice. And I don't know, sometimes it's just nice to see people too and just give a high five when you're at the gym.
You're so sweet. Look at you. So you're a member there already?
Well, yeah, we are. So
Okay. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to get the membership where I can go to Ponte Vedra Beach one and then
oh, yeah.
potentially this one as well. But I was like, that would mean I'd have to leave the bubble.
It's hard to leave the bubble sometimes.
No, but I think this is amazing. This is all people, if you're watching this in recording, and we only have one of you watching live right now, but if you're watching this in a recording, think about what this is going to do to real estate around the area as well. This kind of commercial, urban vibe, hospitals, modern gyms, wellness, that's the kind of future where we're heading right now. Everybody's about wellness and Botox and just kidding.
I don't judge, but I not my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's big business is what I'm getting at, really. Anything yeah. So cool. That is going to be really cool. I love hearing that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the YMCA is going to be great. People I think in general like this idea of live, work, play and try to, really invest in their communities and really have roots. So,
Sure.
another YMCA is a great thing.
Totally. What else we got?
Well, we were talking about roads, and the St. Johns County actually had this really fun video that they put up with the Racetrack Road project. Well,
okay.
And he's talking about building that Peyton Parkway that you like.
Yes.
And all of that. And let me see if I can get this to re-go. Here we go. But it just looks great.
Yeah. They did a really good job with it. It's multiple lanes. They have the turning lanes. I think it's going to relieve a lot of pressure off Racetrack, which I think we talked about last week. A lot of people are complaining right now coming off the Nocatee Parkway, going across Phillips to Racetrack. Everything's just backed up. So the more they can expand these road systems is only going to relieve us of the traffic concerns that we have right now. So Racetrack's a no-brainer. They definitely have to widen it up to relieve all that traffic that's going to be going to all this commercial that we're talking about tonight.
Right. And they're saying in the article here that the project design and reconstruction of Racetrack Road from a 4-lane rural roadway which is a hard 4-lane rural roadway to a 6-lane urban, section. That's a big undertaking.
It is, but it's needed. So I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I remember when there literally was a racetrack on Racetrack Road.
There was?
Yes, it was a dog track.
Oh, is that where there was a betting place that was near on Racetrack back in the day where Durbin is? It was like a poker or betting. Was that where it was?
I guess so, yeah. So it used to be like a dog racing track with like little greyhounds.
Okay. It kind of reminds me of Miami. I thought only Miami did that kind of stuff, but they had one up here too.
They had one here too. I mean, I don't know how well it did. I went to Nice High School, so it was on the way. Like you would pass it.
Yeah. Clearly it didn't do too well. So
yeah, I was too young to really investigate too much. But
yeah, you weren't betting at the dog racetrack.
No, I was not.
High school. Good.
But I knew it was there. So yeah. So I remember it from being a very small, windy road to now being what it is. It's unrecognizable.
Completely. Even when I moved here 6-7 years ago, it was nothing. It was like it's a little sad in a way because of all the trees and everything. I mean, they took down a lot of trees to clear it out for all this commercial. So it's inevitable with the growth, unfortunately.
True. But speaking of trees, okay, so we're going to go back to talking about Chick-fil-A again one more time because we have a little bit of an update. They were on the agenda yesterday. Yesterday. If you can see here, Chick-fil-A Bartram Park for St. Johns County to talk about their proposal to put a Chick-fil-A. And here, I'll show you where in this tab it is just right. It's right on that Duval County line. So it's kind of a funny spot, but it's progressing. They're putting in permits with St. Johns County. So things are progressing there. It looks like this one might happen. And I saw them clearing that spot that they were talking about putting it
Okay.
on Monday. So they were taking down trees, and I'll show you on Google Maps the spot they're talking about. So it's right here between Bartram Park Boulevard and Racetrack Road and 9B, that little triangle section right there. I saw them taking down trees this
Okay.
week.
Can you scan outward so I can see,
Yeah.
because I'm losing my bearings here. Where is that now?
Okay.
Okay.
So you've got the Island Wing Company, and then across from that is this little blank space here.
Oh, wow.
And so you've got that 9B, you've got those Rise Apartments, Racetrack Road, you're going west, and then just there's like a tropical smoothie cafe over here on this
That's
side.
it's a big spot, huh?
It is a big spot. So
it's a good location for it because it's super busy. Chick-fil-A requires massive, busy areas. So, and it looks like it's not like right off there. You actually have to pull off onto, which road is it on? Actually, Park Boulevard.
It looks like Bartram Park Boulevard. So I think you would have to pull off of Racetrack and pull. That's what it looks like to me from everything.
Yeah. So it won't be causing more traffic, if you will, because you're pulling off the Racetrack Road, which is the busiest road to get to it, and it looks like it has a pretty decent lot there for it. So I think it's an appropriate place for a Chick-fil-A.
Well, and I think the visibility from 9B, because if you're going south on 9B, you could get off and actually get over there. You'd have to wind around a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good for all my Chick-fil-A lovers out there, including myself. That's perfect. It's not too close to home, not too far, because the closest Chick-fil-A now is far. Avenues has one.
Yeah. Or the one at Jack's Beach.
Or Jack's Beach. That's a long drive. That's like a 25-minute drive, 30 minutes. This might be like 15, 20 minutes, depending on the day.
You got to really commit to Chick-fil-A.
People are committed to Chick-fil-A, okay? Trust me. If you're a Chick-fil-A person, you love Chick-fil-A, make sure you put it in the comments. Don't be shy.
So it seems to me that project looks like, from what I can tell, it looks like it's moving forward. So we'll see. I haven't seen any news updates on it as far as any of the news outlets, but from what I can dig up from the St. Johns County websites, it looks like things are at least still being talked about.
Moving in the right direction. Yeah. Who needs news outlets when you have the Living in Jacksonville channel?
That's right.
All right, moving on.
All right, so the next thing I saw that was exciting is there's a new place called Easy Açaí. Is that how we say this? I think it is.
Açaí. I guess. I don't know. Açaí.
I know acai bowls are like the hotness.
Oh, okay. All right. If anybody's watching this or watching the recording, if Rachel said it right, give her a thumbs up because I have no idea. So this place, they're opening their second location. They're in Durbin Park now, or going to be there. And I know acai bowls, people are like super into them, but this place also has smoothies, juices, and empanadas. So I was kind of excited about it. So it says a Brazilian. It says it's a Brazilian fruit bar. Brazilian, what did it say? But what is a acai bowl exactly? Anyway, I'm just curious. It's a fruit.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, we could call it healthy.
All right. Brazilian juice bar. Okay. I think it's supposed to have high antioxidants is what I understand of it. So, hey,
I mean, why not?
Be healthy, right?
I think it's got to be healthy. So
okay, cool.
That is here. I'll show you where it is. It's on the kind of southern part near that Walmart and that Peyton Parkway, part of that new part from 9B.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. Awesome. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then another thing I saw coming, this is a little further up. from Durbin on Racetrack Road. I saw this cool place called Pour DIY Candle Studio. They're going to put in, it's like, I guess, a candle studio where you can make your own candles. And it's going to open this summer in Bartram Point. Have you seen, you know, that shopping center? It's on Racetrack Road, headed towards Durbin from Nocatee.
Okay.
And I just think it just sounds really cool. And it just something new and different and, you know, something to do that's not just.
So is this like kind of one of those places where you can go with some friends or your kids and make candles?
Yes. Like it's not open yet. It's coming this summer, but it's going to be a place where you can go and make candles. And I think even includes like making a fragrance and all that.
That's brilliant, because like when it's raining out, my wife's always taking the girls to like Pinterest to do arts and crafts. Have you been there?
Pinspirations. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, Pinspiration. I thought Pinterest. Jeez, it's been a long day, for the love of the Lord.
I know.
Obviously, I'm not going with them because I'm at work on Saturdays. But when it's raining, they go Pinspiration. Sorry. So this would be another option for them to go make candles.
Yeah. So it seems like a cool place, and I'll show you where it is on the map. So this is sort of zoomed in. So this is the shopping center, Bartram Point.
Okay.
On Racetrack Road, and I'll zoom out for you. So you see 95 is here. And then
that's Phillips Highway.
Highway this way. And then, yeah, we've got Durbin over here. So
cool.
Just a cool new business that's coming in. And really that whole shopping center seems like it's got a lot of cool stuff that's going in. So
yeah, my kids have now gotten hooked on that gas station that's everywhere now that has the amazing shakes and all that. I'm running blank right now. I know I mentioned Dailies last week, but it's the other one that's literally
Wawa.
Wawa. My girls are hooked on Wawa shakes now.
Oh my goodness!
Have you had the shakes there?
I haven't.
They're really good. I mean, for a gas station, my gosh, the shakes are insane.
Okay, so last week you were into the Cubans from the gas station, and now you're telling me I got to go get a shake from a gas station?
Yeah, well, when you're in the real estate business and you're on the go at all times, you're stopping by. But this one's for the kiddos. They like Wawas. You can actually get a really good sandwich, really good food there, even though it's a gas station. I mean, there's a reason why they're building them everywhere. I mean, they do well because they're good. So I like I like the coffee ice cream drinks there, or whatever they are. They're like a coffee smoothie because they have the caffeine in there like a dessert. So you don't feel guilty because you're like, oh, this is like a coffee shake, you know.
Yeah, I saw they just put a new Wawa over by Beach Walk, which will be another episode for another week too.
Yes, Beach Walk is coming up, people. We have it on the list. Just talked to a client about Beach Walk today and that whole project, and we're going to get into the nitty gritty about that, because whenever somebody asks me about moving to Beach Walk, I have to explain everything before they get into it. But that will be another show for another night. So, yeah. All right. So we don't just have to go to Pinspirations anymore for arts and crafts. We can now go to Pour, and we can build candles with our children. And
yeah. Although it's not open yet, it'll be this summer, so it's coming soon.
This summer, and you can get a shake at Wawa's right afterwards.
Awesome. So one area I wanted to talk about too, while we're on this Google map, so I'll scooch it down this way. And this area here, all this dirt.
Yes. What is that?
Okay, so that actually took a little digging to try to find anything.
No pun intended, in the dirt.
Digging, I know. So Bartram Commons is what I'm finding, and it looks like it's an 82-acre mixed-use site within Bartram Park, and it's 1,069 apartment units and 11 commercial parcels along Racetrack Road. So that is what I'm finding on that.
1,000 units?
That's what it says. And I found that in another place too. So it seems like it's going to be big. I mean, and already Rise Apartments that's there. I'm going to go back to the map so that you can get kind of a real sense of just like how big this is. Rise Apartments is here, and it's about 300
units.
Let me find my notes here. Rise Apartments is 295 units.
Wow. And now they're talking about 1,000 more units.
That's what I'm finding. And Ascend here is another apartment complex, and that's 350 units. So you can just see just in the map. I mean, if you just kind of take your fingers and just just go like this a few times, you could see, okay, yeah, I could see 1,000 units fitting in there.
So you're looking at literally about 1,500 to 1,600 units, apartments just in that one little area.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. You know, my mother used to say, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
It's a lot of units. And then, of course, I added commercial units on top of that. Now, that said, I think for the people living there, that, like we talked about earlier, that live, work, play situation, that could be great, you know.
Well, isn't that kind of the situation in St. John's Town Center? There's a lot of multifamily condos, right, townhomes in that area, and people who live there they do want that urban feel, you know, where everything is a stone throw away and you don't have to go anywhere. You know what I mean? It's low maintenance living. They make these apartment complexes really luxurious, pickleball courts now, and they add the pools and the lounges and the office common areas, and they kind of make it really, really nice, you know?
Right. So, I mean, I think it's going to be really, really nice. The thing about the ones over at St. John's Town Center, though, too, is that, you know, whoop, there we go. My computer just woke up. It's over by UNF. So this will be kind of different. It won't have that.
Oh, because they have the university nearby, right?
Yeah. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how this all shakes out. But it'll be, I'm curious to see how this turns out. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
So am I. I'm with you there. So, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. All right. And so here is one of the next things I found. So if you go to the St. Johns County Development Tracker, I found this little piece of information here. It says Regency Centers at Durbin. And it says project consists of a grocer and associated out parcels. And I thought, well, that sounds interesting. And then I looked at just how big this is. Now, you can see here where the gray area is how big this will be. I'll show it to you on the regular Google map because I think it's a little easier to look at. So this big green area is all that they're talking about, building out more shopping, and it'll have a grocer. So this is kind of behind where Durbin is now.
Yeah.
So 9B will split it, and it'll fill in all of that east Peyton Parkway. And, you know, we got that Durbin Health, UF Health Durbin Park down at the bottom there. So
and then the apartments over there and apartments up there, and then all this retail in between. So when you say grocer, is there any indication of what that would look like? I hope to God not another Publix or Walmart.
Well, Walmart's on the other side, so I would be shocked if it was a Walmart. All it says is it says unspecified grocer. So
Trader Joe's, please.
I did see something that said regional. So to me that reads Publix, but
oh no, cat's out of the bag. You
I don't know.
Ruined my hopes, Rachel. You're probably right.
But we'll see. But it's a project that's been
it dominates. You can't get away from. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
You know, right now, though, I love Publix. I actually sent my husband there last night to pick up some of the last minute BOGOs, and they were out of a few things. And so he went over to the customer service desk. And I don't know if you all know that you can do this, but you can go and get a rain check on the BOGOs if they're out of the product. So you can get a coupon and get the BOGO later. So
I was not aware of that. So I
If
am
you
guilty of buying BOGOs as well because they're right in my face when I walk in sometimes. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. What is this? Oh, I can get 3 of them. Like, I'm a
right,
pickle fiend, which is ridiculous. So
right.
I'll come in with like 4 jars of pickles, and my wife will be like, what on earth? Or jalapenos? Forget about it.
I mean, if it's BOGO,
Yeah, I know. To try to justify the piggery. But anyway.
I'm with you. I have a hard time though, because sometimes like mustard will go on BOGO. I'm like, well, I don't really need two, but
Well,
I'm not going to leave
uh,
one behind.
somebody wrote, "Yay, Publix," and their nickname is Barf. I'm just kidding. It's BRF. No, I agree. I sense sarcasm in that comment. What do you think? But you know what though? The new Publix in E-Town, I was in there the other day,
Hmm.
and I've got to tell you, the newer Publixes are absolutely amazing. Like they're beautiful. The sandwich bar and the food bar and everything. I mean, really, they are super impressive. So I can't knock it on the newer ones, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm longing for a Trader Joe's, even though you're getting your Aldi's down the road from there,
I know.
where the Winn-Dixie is. But I would like a Trader Joe's, and I think a lot of people would like to see Target nearby, Target. So,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of retail space. I mean, if they're describing this project in multiple phases and that it's going to include the same kind of setup as St. John's Town Center, does that mean we're going to have like Louis Vuitton and like the Tommy Bahamas restaurant and all those Tory Burch and all that designer stores as well? Because
I mean, I am not seeing, there's not a whole lot of information. Everything's still in that permitting phase. So the
yeah,
information I got from the county was that this is a master development plan. It's currently under review, awaiting resubmittal from the applicant. So it's still very much in progress.
yeah. If
Um,
anybody from the county, the developer is watching this, for the love of the Lord, our area has progressed to another level. We could use more than Burlington Coat Factory, Walmart, and $5 store or whatever the heck it's called.
Five Below, I love that
Yes,
store.
I know my kids love it too,
My
but
favorite. Yeah.
I would love to have some choices that are a different level of.
I hear you. I hear you. I
All
mean,
right, I sound like an absolute snob. If anybody else wants to see some high-end stores in our area, put it in the comments there so I don't just feel like a snob by myself. So, okay. All
you're
right.
definitely not alone. You're not alone.
All right, cool. I'll shut up.
And yeah, definitely not alone. All right. And then really, we're kind of going through this pretty quick tonight. I have one other area, and it looks like there's another space more west of the Durbin shopping area, and it is going to have another medical clinic. This area is called Shops at Racetrack Road. They're building it now, and I already saw a building that looks like, oh, I can't think of the name of the restaurant right now. It's called Another Broken Egg. So
Okay.
they're going to put another Broken Egg restaurant, you know, the kind of breakfasty place at this place.
I'm not familiar with it. Are you?
Oh yeah, they're all over. I remember they were in when we were living in Atlanta. I think there's one there, and then there's one. There were some in Illinois as well. So this is what it looks like: Another Broken Egg Cafe.
Is it as good as First Watch?
Um, I have to admit, I've never been to First Watch.
Oh my.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Okay. All right.
I've never been there, so I don't know. But
All right.
Another Broken Egg to me is a little more. It's kind of more diner-ish,
Okay.
but not sticky menus diner. Like
Okay.
nicer than that. Maybe more like a Grumpy's.
Okay. Cool.
So
I like I'm a
this
big fan of breakfast places. I think that's cool. Another option for breakfast is cool. Definitely.
yeah, so this is a new shopping area a little west of Durbin on Racetrack. It looks like a medical clinic. breakfast place, and it does they announced the Dutch Brothers coffee.
Oh, another option besides Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts.
Right. So I thought that was kind of cool. I actually have gone to the Dutch Brothers coffee that's on Phillips Highway headed towards St. Augustine.
Okay.
And I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. They had an option where you could add protein, and I thought, sure, why not? It feels like, I got a little healthy little something with my coffee.
I think that's a brilliant idea, actually. I've never heard of that before. Do they do that at I don't go to Starbucks or any of that, but do they do that at any other coffee shop, putting protein in?
So Dutch Brothers just had that as one of the options, and they have like little sodas, and you can add boba and stuff like that. So for the kids, they can get a little soda with some boba.
Get them hooked on caffeine really young.
Well, they do have some caffeine-free options. I did check. So.
Yeah. My 10-year-old's asking mom and dad, when can I have caffeine like Starbucks? And I'm like, first of all, you can't afford Starbucks. And second of all, you're too young to be drinking caffeine. So we don't have to worry about that.
Right. I try to push mine towards like Sprite,
Yeah.
Like if you're going to have a soda, let's try at least to, just do the sugar and not all the caffeine.
100%. We try. We can only try.
We try. But we grew up in the 80s, so it was Coca-Cola all the way.
I just got reminded also, one of my favorite places that I go over there all the time because I am into protein shakes. You just reminded me is I do like the Smoothie Shack over in Bartram as well. They have a pretty good little smoothie shack over there that you can.
Is it the Tropical Smoothie Cafe?
No, it's actually a Smoothie King or Smoothie something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where you can go pick up protein shakes and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to show you where this is on the Google Maps. So you see Racetrack Road and you see Home Depot. So you can see right here on this red dot is where that Dutch Brothers coffee is projected to go, and another Broken Egg Cafe. So not too far. It'll be a good little spot. Another choice for breakfast. And
cool. You're going to need to have somewhere that's for 1,000 apartment units. They're going to have to go eat breakfast somewhere.
Right. We're talking right down the road, right here, all the way, just right there. So yeah, it seems to me if you're going to have that many people living there, you're going to have a lot of stuff to fill it.
Yeah, and then they just need to add what they did in downtown Jacksonville. Have those little electric scooters that you just put your credit card in, and everybody's zipping around on electric scooters from the shopping center to their apartments.
Have you done one of those electric scooters?
Okay, so yeah. No, well, it was after. Actually, yeah, I can't talk about it. No, honestly, okay, first of all, so downtown Jacksonville, you got to be careful where you go and what time of night it is and all that. But yeah, you see them on the sidewalks, and then on the weekends you see teenagers and kids racing around downtown on them. And never mind the safety of the scooters themselves, but also depending on where you end up in downtown Jacksonville, be careful at nighttime, especially. Right. But yeah, they're fun. You just put a credit card in and you can zip, and they're literally just at every other corner. So, it's a good mode of transportation. But I know this is controversial with all the e-bike and electric scooter talk lately. But most of the suburb downtown areas have that option as transportation. If you're just trying to go from one shopping center to the other or one apartment, you know what I mean? So yeah,
it would be kind of cool to see that over there.
It would eliminate some traffic. So
it would be interesting. I'm going to throw this out there. If any of those developers are listening, they're going to need some golf cart paths. So build some golf cart paths.
Yeah, they would have to do a whole entire golf cart road system, and it probably would make it more popular. I don't know what it is, but that's one of the biggest selling points of where we live in some of these master plan communities. But the only difference between Nocatee and all these other master plan communities is that Nocatee, you can actually go to all the commercial areas on a golf cart. A lot of master plan communities, you have the golf cart road systems, but you can't get to commercial, and, and that's kind of part of the fun is, hey, let's go to First Watch for breakfast, go in the open air golf cart. And even, I don't know if they are pretty dog friendly. There's an outside area. You can bring the dog and sit on the outside and have breakfast. And it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. But that is pretty much all I have for you today.
Nice. I think that's pretty good. Did you see that here? I'll go ahead and share the live footage we did recently. Good old Kurt did. Hold on here. Let's replay it. So everything we just talked about. Let me see if I can. What just happened here? Oh, of course I'm getting. What on earth have I done here? Sorry, people. There we go. Add to stage. I can't add to stage, but for some reason you're.
I'm gonna stop sharing. Let's see if you're good.
There we go. So this is it live, folks. This is what it looks like live, or not live, but we're just recorded today. Everything that we've been talking about, and I'm trying to recognize it off the top, but yeah, I mean, look at the size of these roads and the development. There's so much going on already. And now we're talking about this whole area on the top there on the other side of 9B is going to be all commercial as well. So when you're driving down 9B, all you're going to see is retail on left and the right side, and apartments, obviously. That's where the apartments are all going to be on the top end there, which cracks me up because if you ever notice apartment buildings, they're always located near highways. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah, you're right.
Real estate, I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why they think people in apartments don't care that your veranda is overlooking an exit. But if you notice a lot of these apartment buildings, it's because the real estate's cheaper and they create this luxury living lifestyle within it. And I guess people go for it. There it is again. Right now, there's the Rise, and then there's that area there. There's literally 95, 9B. And then this is the area where all the trees are going to be mowed down to put up more apartments and everything. So I'm not being very positive and optimistic. That's where these apartments are going to go right here. 1,000 seems crazy. So that's interesting. But
yeah, that's the most recent information that I can find on Bartram Commons.
And this is the new road, the Peyton Parkway, which will relieves traffic on Racetrack here, what we're seeing. And it will also take you to the new UF facility. And all the retail will be on that right side, which you were talking about. So,
right.
Pretty crazy development coming to the area for sure.
Yes.
So all these trees that you're looking at now, that's where all that retail you just talked about on the right side is going to be. And there's those other apartments we mentioned as well. So
yeah, there's a lot of building happening and a lot of people moving in. And it's a great place to be.
It is. I always say to folks, and in reality wise, we're not going to stay small forever. And it's incredible because this area seemed very small and quiet and quaint, but the word is out. And so it's becoming more popular to live in. When people move here from where they're moving from, all the different areas, whether it's Chicago, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, California, one of the things you always see on socials is, oh, we need a good Italian deli. Oh, I wish we had this breakfast place. Oh, I wish we had a Trader Joe's. Wink, wink. Those are the conversations you hear all the time. And the answer to that is they'll come. Where there's people, they'll come. Just like that Chick-fil-A picked, if they do come and it looks like they're going to build in that particular area, that they're going to have plenty of business because the population growth here is massive. We used to be they say around 200,000 residents in St. Johns County. I'm pretty sure we're going to be easily around 400,000 pretty soon. And just to give you an idea, Duval County in Jacksonville has a population of about around 1 million. Wow. And St. John's wise, physically, land wise, has only probably over 200,000 residents, if not more. And we have the same land mass, but we don't have 1 million people yet. But Duval County has, I think, 900 and something thousand residents. So you think about it, it's pretty crazy. And now you're looking at St. John's, where we still have a lot of land and it's being developed, and our population is nowhere near as Duval. Now, Duval's kind of crazy, so I hope we don't get that congested in certain areas, but it's a potential. It's a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't count Duval out. I grew up in some parts of Duval, and I think it's great, but
no, I don't count Duval out either. I think with Duval in Jacksonville and downtown area, I'm one of the people that I like that they're redoing the stadium, and I like the fact that they're doing the waterfront. I think the gentrification and all that, the city needs it. I think, that's why I was downtown riding around in scooters. I've done football games down there. I've done the Florida Theater, which is amazing in downtown. I've done the breweries, the microbreweries. We've done the brewery tours, which was amazing. Nobody really realizes or knows about that. Or I know so many people like, I've never done that. So there are a lot of cool things. And that area and downtown area and all that, once it's fully gentrified, you are going to get more urban living down there. And it's, because right now it seems kind of deserted in the weekends. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to some of the exciting projects that are in the pipeline, and maybe we should do an episode on that sometime. It's just,
yes. If you want to hear more of the developments and projects going on in downtown, make sure you leave it on the comments. But I hope you enjoyed this tonight. I know there's also, Rachel, did I told you about that St. Johns County Development Facebook page?
Yeah, I think I do know it. Yes.
Okay, let me pull it up, because I think it's a good resource for people. I don't know who actually is in charge of the page or anything, or who I'm promoting, but I thought that it is. I'm looking it up now, see if I can put it. Oh, growth and development around St. Johns County, 4,700 members. So let me go ahead and pull this up for folks. Stop sharing this. If you want to keep track of what's going on in the area, this has been a pretty good resource as well. For me. Present. Got too many screens and too many things here. Stop screen. There we go. Present. All right, can we see that? There we go. Cool. So here you go, folks. If you want to keep up to date what's going on in, of course, it's another realtor. Growth and development in and around St. Johns County, Florida. You did a very good job, creator of this press release. Clerk's office welcomes former State Travis Hudson, Senior Advisor for Intergovernmental Affairs. That sounds exciting. 38 sports complex in St. Johns County, to include 8 rectangular fields, racetracks. That's pretty interesting information. So again, this is a great resource as well. Another Panera Bread and Beach Walks attractions, which we're going to cover on the next show. So yeah, this could be a cool thing to check out as well if you're trying to keep track of what's going on in St. Johns County development. And I think Durbin is going to be exciting because I really think they need those high-end stores because we are attracting and building some high-end housing now. So we're going to attract a different level of folks, and we're going to, if they're going to try to duplicate what they have at St. John's Town Center. By the way, I mean, you're kind of local or whatever. Can I just ask you, why is St. John's Town Center called St. John's Town Center? Since
I
it's
don't
in
know.
Duval.
You would think they would just call it Jacksonville Town Center.
Yeah, I mean, as confusing as this show is, talking about living in Jacksonville, and we're talking about St. John's County, which is a suburb of Jacksonville. It's confusing for people to know that the main shopping town center that everybody talks about, St. John's Town Center, is in Duval, and it's not really in St. John's. It's not in St. John's County. So I don't get it. If anybody knows why St. John's Town Center is called St. John's Town Center, please put it in the comments if you're watching this on recording. Anyway, folks, that's Thursday night. We've done another one. Thanks a lot, Miss Rachel. You've been awesome sharing all this information with us tonight. I can't thank you enough. If everybody loves Miss Rachel and everything she's doing to help out, make sure you give her some love in the comments as well. Sorry, I've been ignoring comments tonight. I apologize. Y'all know anything about the library in Nocatee? I've seen no movement on that since it was announced. Hey, Anthony, thanks for joining us tonight. We actually talked about that on last week's live video. So if you look at last week's live video, it's called Nocatee Commercial Updates. We talked about that, and Miss Rachel actually drove by there, and she said, you're absolutely right. There's no actual movement. And if we recall, I think you said, Rachel, that they were saying they were going to be open by 2026 or 26.
That's what it said on the original announcement. But of course, I did kind of touch base with the county and just, threw an email out there and asked, hey, what's going on? And they said that they're still in the planning phases. So to me, it seems like it's just not moving very quickly, but it is still in the pipeline. So it doesn't seem like it's gone away anyway.
No, I don't think it's going away at all. They've been announcing it. Everybody's been announcing it. I also found out about the beach volleyball courts that you mentioned last week in the Nocatee Park. It was a group. I think they're called St. John's Volleyball something.
Okay.
But they were talking about exactly what you said, that the NCAA beach volleyball's growth is massive in this country, and that they would like to procure and develop some pro players here in St. Johns County. So that's why they put those professional beach volleyball courts right here in Nocatee. I believe, is it St. Johns County Beach Volleyball.com or something? They have a group here, and they're going to have pro tournaments in Nocatee, which is going to be pretty cool. It's going to put us on the map. So yeah, a lot going on in Nocatee, in St. Johns County, Durbin. And I think there's a ton going on in Beach Walk. So we're going to hit that. But just to really peek at what are we talking about next week, actually, we're going to change it a little bit next week.
Yeah, we're switching it up. We're going to talk about culture in Northeast Florida. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of in the pipeline with museums and music venues and things like that I think it'd be fun to kind of talk about, those things that are on the way.
Yes, for sure. I think people need to realize that in Northeast Florida and Jacksonville and the surrounding areas, we have so much history here. It's so rich in history that it also has a lot of culture. And because we're so spread out and so large, people may not know about it. There's lots of different pockets of Jacksonville that are completely different, but there's really something for everyone. And that's the cool vibe about living in this area, is that if you want to enjoy the culture of Jack's Beach or San Marco or downtown Jax or St. Augustine, you're in driving distance of everything. So it's really convenient like that. And plus we have such amazing parks and everything. People embrace the arts, the culture here. We've got a big homegrown scene here. So lots to talk about. So I'm super excited about that. That was your idea.
Yeah, it's my idea. I thought it would be a fun one. I kept seeing some new things that are coming that I thought, well, this doesn't really fit in any category, but culture.
Yes. So make sure you tune in next week, folks, or watch in recording. I appreciate you tuning in tonight. My name is Greg DeTulio. I'm the Living in Jacksonville channel. I'm not a YouTuber. Rachel's not a YouTuber yet. She might catch the bug though. But I will say thank you for tuning in. If you are relocating the area, that's how you can support this show. We have the Living in Jacksonville real estate team. So if you're thinking about relocating to the area, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can text, call, or email. It'll be in the description and in the comments, and help support. We will take care of you as if we would, the same way we would like to be treated as well, and I guarantee that. So make sure you support us, reach out. Also, if you're thinking about selling, not just relocating, but if you're thinking about selling as well, make sure you reach out to us, get a free home evaluation, and learn about our process of our unique process in a very difficult market right now to sell your home. We'll tell you how it is on that and guide you through that process. So text, call, email. It's never too early. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. Until then, have a lovely evening.